Hey Mike, I saw your name on the internet the other day as a proponent at Bigfoot is a man or humanoid versus a Bigfoot is a Gigantopithecus.
Well, yeah, that's the thing about when people, I've noticed quite a bit of reporters these days, people who are under pressure, I understand, to blog every day. One of the reasons I haven't started a blog, actually I did start a blog, but I kind of neglected it, and that's because it takes a lot of effort to get up there and say something that's worth hearing every single day on a particular subject, even one that you're steeped in constantly, like I am. So I haven't done much blogging for that reason, but there are others out there who are, and I enjoy some of their blogs very much. You know, I can go get on the computer and I know just where to go. Just hit a couple of sites, and I know that anything that's current gossip anyway is certainly going to be represented in those blogs. But the problem is sometimes the people are saying things without doing further research before they make a statement. And that's, of course, all of us do that from time to time. I'm sure I've been guilty of it myself. So I'm just saying it's something that we need to watch out for. Because saying that I'm a person who says that Bigfoot is human rather than Gigantopithecus is not strictly the truth. Because what I have said, and I've said it for years, is that Bigfoot is a multifaceted phenomena. And Bigfoot, after all, is a thing at this point in time that we think of as something that people claim they see. And that's why we have these different ways of looking at it. Because a person on the eastern side of the United States, a person in Australia, a person in Asia, they're not all necessarily seeing the same kind of Bigfoot, if you get my drift. We use a single term to describe something that I think is a multifaceted phenomenon. So I have stated publicly more than once that I believe that there are several different kinds of biological Bigfoot. And that would include something that's going to be genetically more human than anything else. But they're going to have some kind of polymorphisms and some kind of things going on that make the phenotypes so different that they don't even, strictly look human anymore. But I think that there's also feral humans, people who are regular humans, but they've gone off the grid, and they've been living in the wild on their own without power and electricity, without social customs, other than those that are quite animalistic and survivalistic. And I think that those are seen from time to time. There's a guy who suggested that some of the shamans go on vision quests and go into the woods and live for decades alone just to become more attached to and one with the earth. Maybe that explains some of the sightings here and there. But I'm talking, you go to a different part of the country and you have sighting reports. These are not necessarily the same things that are being sighted in other parts of the country or in other continents. So it's more than one thing. I think that there are quite likely animals alive in parts of Asia in particular that might be related to Gigantopithecus, might be the current version of Gigantopithecus. Because I think Gigantopithecus essentially was a mega ape, just like we had lots of other mega fauna during a certain era of time. During the Ice Age, some of the animals got really big, and I think the apes did too. And that's what Giganto was. And then, over time it's probably gotten smaller again, unless it's managed to survive in isolated pockets up in these big, huge mountainous areas. So, yeah, and I think that, for example, Dr. Meldrum's concept of Bigfoot being Gigantopithecus is perfectly viable when we talk about the Himalayan variety, for example. Because not only do we have bones of Gigantopithecus right there in the same area where the Yei-Ren and the Yei-Te and all these various ones are reported, well, we have the anecdotes from the locals describing the local fauna the same way. So, and I think it would be a sort of a Darwinian event to take place there that might fit in with some of Dr. Meldrum's concepts about a parallel evolution of bipedal walking, because I think that Gigantopithecus-type apes that needed to cross a snowfield to move from one valley where he's feeding to another valley on the other side of a mountain range. This is an ape that's going to have to go up on 2 legs when crossing the snowfields. And I know there have been experiments done with chimpanzees that prove they will do that. You put a chimpanzee in the snow, they stand upright for hours on end because they instinctively know that they're going to get frostbite on their hands. So I think that it would be selective for an ape like Gigantopithecus to be able to do well standing upright on 2 feet. And yet the Yeti feet that we've seen, taken by the photographs taken by Shipton and so forth, show a very broad, almost squarish kind of foot with an ape-like large toe stepping off to the side and kind of clusters of other toes. And that seems anatomically the perfect kind of shape for walking across snow, a big flat foot. So perhaps the Yeti is an ape related to Gigantopithecus that has evolved upright walking because of all the time it has to spend crossing mountain passes. Obviously they don't live in the snow, they live in the subalpine valleys, but they need to cross the snowfields to get from one valley to another when the food runs out. And I think that's what happens. So there's all kinds of different possibilities. Also, there are people who report seeing little short hairy bipeds, only 3 feet tall. Many traditions amongst Native Americans as well as natives of other countries, Central South America, Africa. The little short ones are seen almost as much as the big tall ones, apparently by the natives. So it's a multifaceted phenomena, and there's not one animal to account for every Bigfoot sighting report. Some of the sighting reports are hoaxes too, and mistaken identities, and apes that already exist that are in places where you don't expect them, and things like this. Sometimes people get a glimpse of a Bigfoot. They're really sure they've seen an animal passing by and they know it's ape-like, but they haven't had a chance to see it carefully enough to decide whether it's a true biped or not, and whether it has a butt big enough to be a bipedal version of the thing. So there's a lot of different possibilities out there. And I don't put my eggs in any one basket because I think that's foolish, because I think that there's got to be more than one type of mystery primate on the planet today.